House Qorgyle of Sandstone is one of the smaller noble houses from Sandstone in Dorne, located in the expansive and inhospitable sand dunes of the western Dornish deserts, a place where few would be mad enough to call home. They are among the main bannermen sworn to House Martell of Sunspear, the rulers of Dorne, under the title Prince or Princess of Dorne. However, like many of the other more minor houses of Dorne, at various times they've also been sworn to one of the many petty kings prior to the migration of the Rhoynar and Martell unification. Their arms are 3 black scorpions over red, but it's unclear where this symbology actually comes from. Some would suspect their role in the death of Lord Lyonel Tyrell. However, this seems much too recent to have become their house banner. House Qorgyle are a much newer house than many of their Dornish peers. They do not have any known First Men ancestry, and it appears they were founded sometime during the Andal invasion by an Andal adventurer thousands of years ago, who established their small domain in the unexplored deserts of Dorne in the deep sand dunes. These dunes were unexplored for a reason. Little to no drinking water, barely any wildlife, and impossible to grow any food. Why would anyone, any adventurer, choose to make their seat in such a place? Given the climate of most of Dorne, many of the sought-after places were already inhabited by bigger and more powerful houses, descended from the First Men. Rather than competing with these well-established houses for land and resources, these bold Andal adventurers claimed this uncontested land in the middle of the dunes, and managed to carve out their own way of life. Their seat of sandstone, even by Dornish standards, is a small castle, made of pale stone that blends in with the sand of the dunes. The spot House Qorgyle chose to raise their castle was at the site of the only known well for over 50 leagues. The castle started off as a simple fortified wall around that very well, growing into the seat of sandstone we see today. We in fact know very little about the early history of House Qorgyle, but we do know that by the time of Nymeria's war to unify Dorne under Martell control, the house were bannermen to the ancient First Men kings of House Ironwood, and had been for a very long time. During the war, House Qorgyle would remain loyal to their lords, and supported King Yorick V Ironwood in what proved to be his unsuccessful defence against the might of Lord Mors and Nymeria. King Yorick would in the end bend the knee to Mors and Nymeria. With that, House Qorgyle also bent the knee, and swore loyalty, becoming vassals of House Martell, as they have been ever since. House Qorgyle will play a role during the First Dornish War in the wake of the Targaryen conquest of the kingdoms north of Dorne, the other side of the Red Mountains, in what became known as the First Dornish War. Aegon the Conqueror and his sister wives, Visenya and Rhaenys, attempted to conquer the Dornish. Lord Lyonel Tyrell, whom commanded a large army on behalf of the Conqueror, eventually took the seat of House Alla, Hellholt, to the east of Sandstone, after a long and arduous march. Hellholt was just as inhospitable as Sandstone, perhaps more so. By the time Lord Harlan and his men had reached the Hellholt, while they found the castle empty, every well had been spoiled, and every scrap of food taken. Harlan would send out foraging parties to gather supplies, but whenever these foraging parties strayed too far west and closer to Sandstone, they would be cut down by Qorgyle spearmen. Later into the war by 9 AC, Sandstone was among the many Dornish castles burned by Balerion the Blackdread and Vhagar, the dragons of Aegon the Conqueror and Queen Visenya. However, it's unclear just how badly damaged the castle was, or if there was any significant dead, given the other known instances where dragons have let loose their flames on castles. The damage would likely be significant. In the wake of the Dance of the Dragons, in the year 133 AC, the Maiden Days Ball was used to try and find a new wife for the young king Aegon III. Lords and even landed knights from across the whole of Westeros, from the bleak and cold wall in the north to the sand dunes of House Qorgyle, sent their fairest maidens to King's Landing, hoping to catch the eye of the young king. House Qorgyle would send Moria Qorgyle, and like the others, she was presented to King Aegon as a potential bride. The young girl is said to have boldly requested for the king to kiss her. Though given the shy and reclusive character of the king, it meant that Aegon did not respond to this, and thus Moria was not chosen. During King Daeron I Targaryen, better known as the Young Dragon's conquest of Dorne between 157 and 161 AC, our Lord Lyonel Tyrell was tasked by the king with ensuring the continued submission of the Dornish in the wake of the fall of Sunspear. The then Lord Qorgyle feigned support for House Targaryen, but proved to secretly be loyal to House Martell. While staying at Sandstone, Lord Tyrell was murdered in a bed of scorpions. Maester Gareth suggests in his tome of Dornish history, Red Sands, that Lord Qorgyle arranged Lord Lyonel's murder, with his motives being the subject of much speculation and remain unknown to this day. Some say Lord Qorgyle was slighted, that his earlier show of loyalty to House Targaryen was given little consideration by Lord Tyrell, while others claim his initial support of loyalty to the Targaryens was always part of a treacherous plan he made with his Castellan to earn the trust of Daeron and Lyonel. The balance of probability does suggest House Qorgyle was always loyal to House Martell. There is an unnamed member of House Qorgyle who became the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, which is interesting given how few Dornishmen end up at the Wall, so far away from the hot sands of their homeland. Lord Commander Qorgyle entered the Night's Watch sometime before Sir Denys Mallister, and during his time at Castle Black would send patrols eastwards to Eastwatch by the Sea every third day and west towards the Shadow Tower every second day, which is far more when compared to current standards. This very same Lord Commander Qorgyle once visited Winterfell with an escort of 12 men, including a younger Mance Rayder, the future king beyond the wall, while he was still a member of the Watch. They met with Lord Eddard Stark during the visit. Eddard's sons, Robb Stark and Jon Snow, the future Lord Commander of the Watch, piled up snow about the gates to dump on unsuspecting passers-by. Mance caught them, but did not reveal their prank. After Lord Commander Qorgyle's death, Ser Jorah Mormont was chosen as the new Lord Commander in 288 AC. During the events of A Storm of Swords, a Sir Aron Qorgyle is part of the escorts of distinguished Dornish nobles who accompany Oberyn Martell to King's Landing on behalf of Prince Doran Martell for the wedding of King Joffrey Baratheon and Margaery Tyrell. Sir Aron later helps Oberyn in donning his battle armour for Tyrion Lannister's trial by combat after the murder of Joffrey Baratheon at the Purple Wedding. During the events of A Feast for Crows, Princess Arianne Martell believes that House Qorgyle will aid her in her attempt to crown Princess Myrcella Baratheon as queen, due to their relationship with Oberyn Martell, especially after his death during the trial by combat for Tyrion Lannister, the Hands of the Mountain, Gregor Clegane. As of now, that is all we currently know of House Qorgyle.